Going through the paper of prelims 2024, the way we attempted in the exam hall itself, and will not be trying to solve it over here, but rather going through what could have been done in the exam hall than the way we did, because we obviously committed a lot of silly mistakes. So, on the first instance, we should have noticed that the paper was of 21 pages, and we had a practice of solving like 9 pages worth of material in 1 hour, 9 or 10 pages of worth of material in 1 hour. And this paper was for 21 pages long. So, around the same, a bit longer, but around the same length. Now, the first question, the first section was from geography, and then we had geography continued for quite some time, and then we had environment, and environment also carried on for approximately 30, 33, till 33 we had till 30 we had the environment, and then from 31 we started getting mixed questions from science and tech, and then from 36 we had questions from eco. And all the blue marks over here, these are the markings that we did in the first go. First of all, there was confusion with respect to the color of pen that we were using. What I should have done is we should have gone through the paper and solved the questions that were being solvable in the first attempt itself using blue pen, and marked all the questions that we were reading. For example, in this question, I was not really sure about in India, stock exchanges can offer separate trading platform or benefit. Here I have marked a question mark. However, I have marked it cross, which was incorrect. Now, we'll go through this again when we are considering this in detail. Nevertheless, what we should have done is we should have marked the entire paper using blue lines and tried to solve as many questions as possible in the first go, which would have been ideally 10 to 15 questions, 10 on the lower end and 15 on the higher end. And if we were able to solve 20, well and good. Otherwise, we would try to solve the paper again. Like after solving 20 questions, we would have marked these 20 questions like in blue, and we should have jotted these answers into the OMR sheet and moved on to the second round. What we did not do was mark this first round in the OMR, which would later cost us some time. Not exactly time, but a panic-like situation in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Nevertheless, moving on, there were many questions that we should not have touched. For example, I will be seeing them as well. Now, yeah, sure. Let's start with the last questions. First of all, these were the questions that I had, maybe I had read in like passing, but I did not pay much attention to schemes, and I should not have attempted these. These are crossed marks, but nevertheless, in the last 5 or some minutes, I marked these. Like instead of marking these, had I been concentrated on those questions which I had solved earlier, it would have been better. So first point is not to mark those questions. Like this was written, not cross. All right. This was something which we should not have attempted. And moreover, in the examination hall, doesn't matter how much you have read, how much you have revised, except for history and some form of polity and some factual informations. Except from these informations, doesn't matter how much you have read, it all boils down to a gut feeling. Like it is a feeling. You can never be really sure of that. And these schemes were really factual and should have been avoided. These red markings were a clear warning that these are to be avoided at all cost, and I did not heed to these warning. Moreover, I might have solved this question, the Venezuela question, that is recently Venezuela, but I did not mark it over here. So I am not really sure have I marked it in the OMR sheet or not. Moving on. With the European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act, this was okay. Moreover, here they have said that Europe is aiming for carbon neutrality by 2040. This was absolutely wrong. This I picked up like in the second round itself, because most of the European nations, they like Germany, who is going to be the fastest for the green transition, they are aiming for 2045, and rest of Europe ranges from 2050 to 2060, 55, like that. So this was obviously wrong. Moving on. So this was an obvious question which should have been attempted. Now, with reference to the parliament, now here prorogation of a house by president of a does not require these is wrong, because there are very limited situations wherein. So two disclaimers over here. I did not revise polity. Like, I was not able to touch polity. So I made quite a number of mistakes which could have been solved if I had gone through my notes at least once or twice before the examination. I knew that my weak points were somewhere. So I kind of ignored it because I thought I had a good hold of polity. So I kind of ignored it, but had I done it, I might have been able to solve 4 to 5 more questions over here from polity itself. So that is quite like unnerving situation I am in right now. We are 10 days down the D-Day. So that was quite an unnerving situation, knowing that you could have scored 4 to 5 more net correct answers in the examination, wherein let's not get into that. Now, this was quite an easy question. Like this I was able to solve in the first round itself. Now moving on to this question, a bill pending in Lok Sabha passes. So anything that this was also very straightforward question, wherein any bill touched by Lok Sabha will lapse. So that was there. However, if president interjects, and moreover, it was very much evident in the options itself. Like if you were able to mark out 1 and 2, 3 would have been easily eliminated using the options itself. Now moving on to question number 93, we see with reference to the speaker of the Lok Sabha, consider the following. He shall not preside. This is true. He shall not have. This is not there. Like, he has the right to speak and he is not entitled to vote on the first instance. So by crossing out this, we were able to arrive at the right option. I don't know what is right and what is wrong. Don't come after me. All right, when UPSC releases its statement, don't come after me that this was right, this is wrong. This is what we should have and what we should not have done in the examination hall. This is not really much to do with what is right or what is wrong. It is more about what we could have done in the exam hall, regardless of what the answer key is. Now, another question, 92. Consider the following statement. ISNA does not import apples from... This is absolutely wrong. We get California apples and whatnot in American apple and whatnot in the market. So this is wrong. But this statement is correct. GAC and FSI, they all are involved. Competent authority, this would be GAC and FSSAI. So first statement is incorrect and we got the second question. So this was quite easy. Should have been attempted and was attempted. Now, there is instability and worsening security situation in Sahel. Now, I had a kind of a different interpretation that I kind of concluded that military takeovers and coups are outcomes of worsening security situation in Sahel region rather than the other way around. And which is why I marked B. Most of the coaching institutes, they have marked A as the correct explanation, like A option as the correct one. But I don't know, it was just a gut feeling that this is like the effect. This is the cause and this is the effect. It might be other way around. This was just my interpretation of the things. And I would not have done otherwise. Like this is what if the answer key comes and it is like otherwise, I would correct my thought process, but this is what I thought in the exam hall and this is what I think right now also. Now the Red Sea receives now this is a very controversial question. Most of the coaching institutes are divided on this because no water enters the Red Sea from rivers. Shit. This might be correct. Like, this is not stream but river. So this might be correct. Nevertheless, Environmental Protection Agency, which is the following largest source of, is quite straightforward. I was confused between shipping and power plants using fossil fuels, because both use like fossil fuels, but power plants, they generally use coal, which has a lot of sulfur, so not that brain. So this question should have been avoided. Now, Sumet pipeline, this I was not at all aware, so I did not attempt. Good decision. Now, Turkey, I recall that Turkey is a member, and in the news, I did not hear anything regarding Turkey rescinding its membership of NATO, which is why I was very pretty sure that this cannot be it. And Argentina was in a economic crisis, and from this, we were able to solve another question in the 90 series. That was Argentina's quick recovery. I'm really not sure what I marked there. So, and I'm also not sure if I have marked this one or not. So only two pairs should have been the answer. Now, this was quite straightforward. Subramaniam Jaishankar, S. Jaishankar, these books should have been solved and was solved. Now, with reference to union budget, I was able to pick on that on behalf of Prime Minister. First of all, it is on behalf of President, and at the union level, no, except on this was quite correct. Now, moving on, the governor of a state who, first of all, this was a very stupid mistake, like a very stupid mistake. I knew that it is the president who declares any like notify. I was confused with the word notify, because in the Bare Act, I think it is written that recognizes and declares any community. So again, not reading the polity text, Bare Act will cost me 1 marks over here, because it is the president. So again, two silly mistakes because of not revising. So now is the time to get it into your head that factual informations regarding polity, history, and geography are to be revised before the examination. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to get it right in the exam hall. Now, a writ of prohibition is an order. It's quite easy. Like there are 4 types of writ. Nevertheless, quite an easy option. Now, Mitra Shakti. Now, this was a trap. All right. This Shakti exercise, it's quite famous because of it being with Bangladesh, but however, in this case, Mitra Shakti was with Sri Lanka. So a lot of this would have changed, like 1 gone. So this would have been the correct option, because it is not with Bangladesh, but with Sri Lanka. So had we been aware of this fact that Mitra Shakti, it's Mitra Shakti and Shakti are two different, we might have been able to solve this question. And it was a trap, and we fell into it. It could not have been recognized because we were not aware of this. Had we been aware of this development, it was an easy question. Now, Nari Shakti, Vandan Abhinay. Now, this is also quite, this also falls in like the controversial thing, but 2 and 3 were definitely correct. So I marked it correct. And also provisions will come into effect from 18th Lok Sabha. So 18th Lok Sabha is already elected. On that logic, it was quite wrong. Now, which of the following statements about the ethics committee in the now this question, this option, I was not really sure, because only a member of Lok Sabha can make complaints regarding to unethical conduct. A lot of coaching institutes are saying that even common person can approach the ethics committee, but through a Lok Sabha member. So it is ultimately the Lok Sabha member who is complaining. So I don't know if it is correct or not, but I have marked it wrong. It should have been marked correctly, because this was quite in news. We had all the notes and we could have solved this question. Now, the longest border between any two countries in the world is quite straightforward. Should have been solved and was solved. Now here is where you should trust your gut feeling. Like question number 78 is the place where you should have trusted your gut, where you marked Operation Sadbhavna. Like it was coming to my head, Operation Sadbhavna, Sadbhavna, but I was getting confused between Sankalp and Madat. I don't know why. Maitri, I don't know why. It was like, it was fast thinking and it was hitting Sadbhavna. I should have trusted my gut. I did not. Now, what are the duties of now here? Military command, it's administrative command. So wrong. Now, right to privacy, 19 and 21. 21 to be direct and 19 to be indirect. Now, which of the following statements is correct as per the Constitution of India? Again, it is it is one based on Schedule 7, and we should have revised it, but nevertheless, it was not that difficult. Quarantine was there, so, and all the other things were mentioned as state list. All the interstates were mentioned as state list, which obviously is not. Moving on, this again was a blunder. Like, had we been revising the Bare Act, which we always do, we did not this time, and we paid the price in the form of 9B. Now, this was out of our knowledge base, so we skipped it. And here we have the Constitution 71st Amendment. Now, this was a difficult question because all these are scheduled languages, and I think from this one, Maithili was later on declared. So again, I don't know, had we been into the notes, polity notes, might have solved this. Again, current affairs, if we have had revised it, might have made it correct. But then again, it was a controversial question. This again was also a controversial question, and far off from the answer. Like, this should not have been attempted because I did not revise. It was very factual question. Chances of getting it wrong was very high. Should not have been attempted. Now here, a lot of time was wasted. I did this, I did that. I considered all possible combinations, and ultimately I made a stupid choice of 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I made this choice, but like on the first instant, like the way I solved it, I knew commander is in Air Force. Vice cannot be over here, and vice cannot be over here. This cannot be over here. Commander and Commodore, they are reversed. So I kind of solved it. Only 4 was like very difficult. Like very difficult. Answer was only 3, and obviously we lost it over here itself. Like commander, I don't know why. It should have been avoided. Like, this was the question where we should not have wasted any time. Moving on, which of the following statements are correct in respect of money bill in parliament? I was not really sure. We again not revised polity, but again, all those people who did revise polity found it quite tough because they were not able to recall, like, this is 109 or 111. 110 is easy to recall, that is money bill. But the procedure, special procedure, quite confusing, and I think we made a mistake over here. Like, yes, we crossed 111 and we made a mistake. Now, this was quite an easy, direct, straightforward question. Should have been solved and was solved. Again, as per Article 368 of the Bare Act. Direct question. Like, this was one of those questions that you have read so many times that even without revision, you know that these words are there. Like, amendment, people have read so many times that it is fit into their mind. Now consider the following properties included in the quite recent one, and Shanti Niketan and Hosalaya. This was quite in news. Like, this was a very probable question, and I don't know have I marked it or not. Like, absolutely no idea if I have marked it or not. Now, again, I have marked it. I should have marked it. Like I was able to identify 4th century to 5th, 6th century. Shit, man. I should have marked this one because Sarvastivad, it emerged in the 4th Buddhist Council and should have been marked. Now, moving on, this should have been left because I did not revise in this. Should have revised. This should have been left. Very factual. I was not able to recall. I did not know it is Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. Now, nevertheless, with reference to Government of India Act of 1935, again, I should have paid more attention over here. It was legislature. Now, Britishers will not delegate defense and foreign affairs to the legislature. It will always be reserved in the executive. So again, it is wrong.